Hello everyone, this is the Crimson Cure, welcoming you to the Crimson Tower, a place where we keep a feminine foot on the neck of the gynocracy, feminism, and black male misandry. So go ahead, pull up a chair, stay a while, and listen. Hello. As usual, I'm not done posting.
It's all good.
Because I had to reset my phone, everybody. So everything that I touch now needs to sign in. It needs to load up. It has to show you a tutorial on how to press buttons on your phone. So. No, busy doing that. While I'm busy doing that, what's been going on with you, Ronin? You look at you, rocking and rolling. Ain't nobody even doing that.
Good, see?
When she don't need a belt. That's one of Big Jobs.
Yes, ma'am. I've just been good. Just starting might eating like tangerine or something. Yeah. Something light. Waiting on my A game to get here. Yeah.
Got a shipment on the way, huh?
On the way. Going on, Alex Jackson?
Hey,
UFO?
what's going on, Alex? UFO, how y'all doing? Well, I made my first batch of soap in probably 10 years this morning.
Uh-oh.
It's beautiful. I still got it. The soap master is still alive. I'm telling y'all, I had mastered that soap making, and it kind of came back to me as I'm like, oh yeah, this is what I used to do. It used to be like this and like that. Like, yay! So
we're gonna talk about price after the show.
Let's talk about price after the show. Yeah. Although I'm gonna take my time going back into selling it. I need to finish my book first. Number one priority. Get that out.
You'll be fine with the book. You'll be fine.
And then after that, after I do the whole book thing, then I still kind of want to take it slow with the soap because I don't want to repeat certain mistakes that I remember making when I first did it. Yeah. And I kind of rushed into it and, I can make soap. Let's sell it. You know what I'm saying? That type of thing. So, yeah. So I'm kind of needing to kind of step back and be like, okay, let me plan a little bit better to make sure, because if I'm being honest, I kind of don't want to sell the soap individual bars. I want to wholesale it.
Okay.
Like I want to pitch it to other people and be like, you put your label on it. I'll just make it. I'll just make the scent you want. I'll sell it to you at a set price for an amount or whatever, a minimum amount order. And then you just package it yourself. Because that's the part that I don't miss.
Yeah.
The packaging and the boxes and the labels and printing it all and shipping it all. I kind of don't miss that part. I only like to do the creative part, which is make it and put the scents together and put the colors together, that sort of thing. So, I don't know.
No, just do what you need to do. Use the technology to support that or mass produce it. You'll be cool.
Yeah, I kind of wanna mass produce it and just sell it like that and be like, okay, y'all just buy, 10 pounds of it, 20 pounds of it, different scents. You want 5 different scents, I'll make 5, you know what I'm saying, or whatever. And then I'll just sell it to whomever for the price, get it out of my face. You do it. You do the rest. You package it and you label it and you put your logo on there. I don't care. Whatever, it doesn't matter if people don't know that it's mine as long as I'm getting paid. Yeah, Sheep said he liked the selling part. Yeah, I like the selling part too. I like the making and the selling, but I don't like the packaging and the soap paperwork, as I call it.
Soap work.
Yeah, like I'm not really feeling the soap paperwork right now. But let's see, in other miscellaneous news that nobody cares about, I'm going to break my keto diet for about a week.
Uh-oh.
It's stuck again.
Huh.
The weight loss is stuck again for 2 weeks now. And I'm kind of perfectly doing keto right now.
Okay.
Like perfectly. My eating is so clean. Like you wouldn't believe how clean my eating is. But I'm stuck with all of that clean eating and exercising I literally exercise every other day. So that averages out to about 4 times a week or so.
It's pretty good. Pretty good. It's pretty good.
Yeah. So, but I have to do something that I said I needed to do way back when. I've said it on live streams. I've said it to my sister way back when. You actually have to break keto to make it work.
Yeah.
Some people thrive just keeping it that way all the time. My metabolism gets used to it. It's like, oh, this is how we eat now, so I don't have to drop any weight, and it gets comfortable. Like, oh, I have to burn any. I have to burn any. I have to do anything. Even with exercise, I don't have to burn. Even with exercise, I don't have to burn anything. I don't have to. It's like my metabolism does like, if you do the same workout for a month or 2, there's no more burn. And it's like if you're doing the same workout, your muscles just get stronger and it doesn't burn anymore. So you're getting less out of that workout than in the 3rd month than you were the first time you did that workout. My metabolism does that. It gets accustomed to what's going on. And then it's like, oh, we don't mind if we don't eat solid food for 48 hours. I'm not going to burn any fat. You're done.
I can stall you out.
I'll stall you out. Like I can wait you out. So I'm having to do now what I said that I needed to do, which is kind of trick my metabolism and make it think we're going back to the same old way. But I'm not going to be eating cookies and cakes and candies and all of that. I'm going to be eating what I call clean carbs. So eat some oatmeal in the morning, you know what I'm saying? Eat a little bit of brown rice with your dinner or something. Even make my little pancake recipe or whatever. I don't want to dive into a bunch of sugar. I just want clean carbs. And, maybe do that for about 3 or 4 days straight. And then go back even. The sheep is silly. I didn't even mean to do it. He's silly. And then make my body go back into ketosis. And once I go back to ketosis, it'll burn because it'll be like, oh, we're doing this again. So I have to burn that again. So, I have to just trick myself.
Oh, I get it. There's knowing your body.
Because I've been in ketosis for 6 months straight. The effect is worn off now. It won't budge. I mean, that number doesn't budge at all.
Damn.
Up or down. It doesn't move. And I'm like, oh, so instead of getting frustrated, because I was getting frustrated, and I was like, okay, you know what? Calm down. Go eat some carbs.
Yeah.
Your body thinks that it'll never get it again, probably going into starvation mode. So eat some carbs.
That's cool. Like I say, I mean, you know what you're doing, and knowing your body, that does help. But just end up just shooting in the dark. I'll try it. No, but that's cool. Like I said, with the soap too, I'm just looking forward to trying your brand because that's why I'm getting into the whole cold press, purchasing those. I've tried things like lever. I don't want any of those chemicals or anything like that, personally.
The unknown stuff.
Yeah.
There's a soap that I made today. I love talking about it, so getting me started is the wrong thing to do.
Some of us need it.
Today, olive oil, castor oil, coconut oil, something called rice bran oil, and olive oil. I think I said that right. So olive castor, palm kernel, olive castor, palm kernel, rice bran, coconut. So 5 oils. It takes water and it takes sodium hydroxide.
Okay.
The sodium hydroxide is what converts the acid into soap. So the lye is the base, the oils are the acid. Put them together, you get a chemical reaction, and that precipitating chemical is a salt.
Which
soap is always a salt.
Which kind of makes you a chemist.
It does, because you have to kind of know your chemical makeup in order to do it. So you take that, you get all your oils mixed up, measured out, get your water measured out. It must be cold because when you add lye to the water, it will reach boiling point. So mix the lye water, set that aside until it goes down to room temperature. Get all your oils together, mix all of that stuff, and have everything. You have to have everything set out when you're making soap, because once you start that process, you can't stop to go get, oh, I forgot this way in the other room. It's done. If it's not sitting there, you don't have it.
Right.
So the basic process, the basic cold process is to take that lye base and pour it into your oils. Okay. And with a hand mixer, or like the stick blender or a whisk, mix it until it becomes like pudding. Once it gets to a pudding consistency, add fragrance. If you're gonna add a color, do that. Mix it, pour it in the mold. Mold must be prepared because you don't have time to do anything else. So you have to pour it in the mold and wrap the mold up, because the soap has to be insulated at this point in order to complete the chemical process to becoming a bar of soap. Okay. So you leave it in the mold for about 24 to 48 hours. You take it out. It's hard enough to be hard, soft enough to be cut. So you cut it, and the cure process takes about 4 to 6 weeks. And that makes the soap bar very mild. So you're not getting any dry skin or you're getting any craziness going on with your soap. And that's, in a nutshell, the quickest way I could say that, how to make soap.
Sounds good.
So when you see on your soap thing, sodium cocoate, sodium, whatever, that just means it's been converted from a oil to a soap, to a salt.
Okay. Hey, I'm with it.
All right, so enough about me and soap making because I could take up all your time talking about soap. I really can. I really can take up another hour and a half and talk about. I could show y'all all types of the chemical. Like I will break down the equation for it.
Yeah.
Don't get me started. Hey, what's good, Third Ward? So what we talking about today? The virgin harlot complex within a marriage. Now, what is that, you may ask? What are we talking about? Well, we kind of talking about the sexual health of a marriage. And sometimes why you end up not having as much sex as you thought you should after actually securing a sexual partner within a marriage and a commitment. So we're kind of gonna get into, because the opening kind of premise is when you get married. Thank you, Ebo. So to sound like you done cooked up some other things, Lioness. What you saying, Ebo? So I'm not that type of woman. What you saying? What I couldn't cook nothing but soap.
Rent's paid though.
And so we kind of exploring, what happens to the sex life in your marriage, because a lot of times, I'm just gonna say, men blame women for decreased sexual activity in a marriage. Man, she won't give me none. Man, she always, man, I'm married, man. I don't have sex once a week, man. And see, my position is it's not just always the woman's fault that's happening. Mm-hmm. My position is also that sometimes men have a virgin whore complex, and he just doesn't put it down in the bedroom with his wife the same way he would with a side chick, some other woman, or the way he did before they were committed. Mm-hmm. And I'm thinking that I think Ronin's got a different perspective on it, but my position is that he can't reconcile his wife with the concept of a whore. He can't reconcile it. Like, he has too much respect for the wife. I'm talking about like in a good relationship, not in a a situationship that just happens to have paperwork attached to it. I'm talking about when the people actually like each other and they get along. So he has respect for her, and he can't do away with the dignity in the bedroom. He has that dignity still with her. But now if he goes and gets a side chick, she gonna get the best sex she ever got, the best he's gonna be able to, giving you the best that I got. He gonna give her the best yet, because he doesn't view her any type of specific way. But his wife isn't gonna get that. And I'm thinking sometimes that's why the sex goes down in a marriage, because you're not putting it down, bruh. You're just kind of giving me missionary for 10 minutes. And I'm not excited about giving you anything. This is why I'm always saying I have a headache, because it's not worth the time and effort to get what you're giving me. Hey, Grinch said after daylight hours, I prefer my creatures in scarlet. All right. So what you got for me on this topic, Ronin?
I've seen that to where individuals talk about, outside my marriage or relationship, I'm down with a whore just out there. She's doing any and everything, spinning off the ceiling fan, doing, triple Lindy's, everything. But get home, it's supposed to be pure, pristine, very vanilla. A little bit of cinnamon to it. No, my personal opinion is like, if that's How I Met Your Nasty Ass. That's part of the reason why I married your nasty ass. It's no sexual point shaving. And that's a problem in most relationships I see.
Mm-hmm. Because I do. Now, I'm not saying it's never on the woman. Sometimes it is her. And that kind of depends on what her attraction level was to begin with. Because as we know, some women will marry men for security that they're only marginally attracted to. So they won't be so willing and eager to have a lot of sex with that man because he was good to be a husband, but she wasn't necessarily physically attracted that much. It wasn't like she wasn't at all, but it wasn't like she was just hot for him all the time. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever. He didn't push those buttons for her.
No.
And so she's just kind of not inclined. She'll do it just enough to say it gets done, but she won't like be eager and be like, oh yeah, you know what I'm saying? You come here. I need you right now. You know, like she won't do that.
No.
But sometimes it's the guys that do it. But it's for different reasons. He's not doing it necessarily because he's not attracted to her. He's doing that, in my opinion, because she's my wife and she must not gargle me. Like, I don't understand that. And, you know, I kind of see her in this particular way. And I don't want her to do certain things that make me see her another way. I kind of always want to see her this way. But if she does these sets of debaucherous activities, I'm not going to be able to see her this way. I'm going to have to see her this way. And I'm going to think of her differently. And I may treat her differently because of how I see her. That's what I think.
I mean, in many conversations, it's that fear of reducing her to a fetish to an extent, or they get imprisoned by perception, where you do look, when you look at your wife, you're like, oh, I can't do this. You know, this isn't the wife I married. My whole thing is like, it is a sense of more like high levels of relationship security if she's able to unleash that monster on you, because you mentioned the whole thing about the hoe key. It's a matter of security. So I'm doing all this nasty shit. Here's the key. Take it for a spin. When you're able to allow each other to be your honest selves in that arena, especially, that tends to build a solid connection to that. But again, you have to factor in there's people who marry each other for certain reasons. And if you're not even her third choice, then you can't expect great things out of that. But if you guys have that natural chemistry and you guys are looking to be honest with yourselves and each other, hold for it. That's what I say. go ahead.
Thank you again, Evo. So I've always felt sexual boredom can also happen when you overdo sex, plus become complacent within your affection and attraction. I still feel and see what I saw 10 years ago performing the same too. And see, that's part of it. And see, I'm talking about this also in optimal conditions. Yes. Where the people have not, you gained 100 pounds. So I'm not attracted. You know what I'm saying? I'm not talking about all of those different things that come in that may affect it.
Yeah.
I think also we have a certain concept of what a whore is.
Yeah.
I think a lot of men subconsciously think that a woman that has a high sexual drive is a whore. And a good woman would have a low sexual drive. But the reality is that he doesn't even really want that, because if he thought that and thought that that was really real, he wouldn't complain about marrying the good woman and then not having a lot of sex with her because she's so pure, she doesn't have sex. And I think that that's further tied into thinking that sex is something bad.
Right.
Or attaching a evil quality to something that is natural and naturally occurring. We automatically, in this culture that we grew up in, automatically associate high sexual activity or high libido, or, you know what I'm saying, wanting to explore that as something nasty and something bad and something icky, and only certain people do it, or when you're in a certain mindset you only do it. But when you're elevated, then you have to do it differently, and you have to only have missionary, and you only have to do, you know what I'm saying, like that kind of thing. Like, I think that we've attached evil to sex, and we've attached that more specifically to women. So if she has a high libido, we automatically think she's promiscuous. A whore is a woman who's promiscuous with a lot of different men.
Yes. Yeah.
A woman with a high sex drive is not necessarily a whore, because if she marries you and she had a high sex drive and she's only reserving her sex for you, she's not a whore at that point. Right. She's your woman that has sex with you a lot because you're the one there to have sex with.
Well, it's the thing about balance. Like, when it interferes about with you both being productive, that's where it becomes a problem. But actually, when it's done right, for me, I say it helps trigger a lot of creative energy, like a release. Sometimes it's a stress reliever. Like, when you're that creative in that arena, like, and you're in there taking care of business, and, you know, someone's in there flirting with you next to like that, like, okay, you know, keeps that energy alive. And yes, the ones who are in tune with their sexual energy, I tend to feed off that sometimes. I mean, like, in a honest relationship, I'm a whole pervert. Admittedly, just she could be doing the laundry and I'll sit there and mess with her. Now, my thing is, like, if she starts, you know, consistently doing the whole, well, stop and all that, I'll cut it off straight up. But if she, you know, she's cool. I mean, like, I think a lot of people need to learn how to take those masks off in that situation, because there's that fear where I might like something that she doesn't know about, or vice versa, and then the whole relationship dynamic changes. So we've been living on a lie. Like, you get down to the root of it. If you guys are really into that intimate space where y'all are doing your thing, and you sit there and make that magical explosion, it'll drive y'all to find something else, you know, just to where, like, look, we got this here, we can build on everything else. You know, it's not just a whole, well, I have to put you in this box, or every Tuesday at 7:30 we'll, no. I like that.
Have tea, crumpets, a little bit of pleasure. And then
no. You need that bit of that hint of excitement, unpredictability, where if she's on the phone and she's messing around with someone, I'm gonna mess with her, and I'm gonna see how far she let me go, and then, like, oh, okay, and I'm gonna really test you, and vice versa. That's why, like, you keep it fun. That's the intimate part of it. But so many people treat it like chores. Like, well, I'm gonna cut the grass, smash, and then, you know, make her run a few errands and go home.
To-do list. Yeah.
No. The thing y'all need to check off is, like, where to do list sometimes. But again, it's like, you know, a lot of people have their own agendas, and that's where you have to meet each other like that. If you're talking about other business, y'all need to talk about that business too, because most men will tell you, at least some around here, they like their woman to be delightfully disgusting. And some women will say, hey, look, I want to be that straight up hoe for my guy. And y'all the real winners.
And listen, I've said this before. Every woman has the inner harlot. She's nice and in there. She's right in there. And the only difference between a lioness and a lot of hyenas is that the lioness waits for the alpha lion to do all of that. The hyena might do it with anybody, right? But if we're talking about in a marriage, if you've got a woman that you don't allow to express herself sexually how she's feeling comfortable, you're probably going to create, and maybe even unknowingly create, a trust issue.
Yeah.
Because for a woman to be with her husband and say, I'm not going to be with no other man, so I need to be sexually free with you. And you need to allow that. That's her giving him the key out of trust. We only give the men we trust. And what are we trusting? The key to that is we're trying to trust that he isn't gonna judge me harshly because of that, because I have a high sex drive, or because, you know what I'm saying, like I'm coming to him all the time with that. I don't want him to start looking at me like, what's wrong with you? Because if we get that feedback, we'll just stop. Yeah. Because we don't want our man to view us as if we are low. We don't want you to do that. We don't want our husbands to be like, oh, she's nothing. She's dirt. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever, because she wants to be nasty. When at the same time, he'll readily go and deal with another woman and do the same thing worse and have a good time with her. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever. And like, I'm sort of speaking from experience.
Okay.
Because it's like, well, I can only do certain things with you. But it's like, why? You know, why only certain things? Why we can't open this whole Pandora's box? Why? I have a Pandora's box. I guarantee you like everything in it. But it is a Pandora's box. So you do have to unlock it because you need permission, right?
Yes.
Every woman, every whore needs permission to be that. The women that you see that are super promiscuous outside, society has given her permission, right? The gynocracy gives her permission to do it. Feminism gives her permission.
To her,
the pros who are making money, the pimp gives her permission to do that. He's not judging her for that. He's making money off of that. You know what I'm saying? So he's just there to be the animus that she focuses on to help regulate her emotional state from actually being with a bunch of men. That's all. That's really what he's for.
Yeah.
And the lioness, the woman, the wife material, also has a whore. She needs permission, but she needs permission from the husband. That's the husband's. That's part of his function, is to give her permission to be sexually free with him. And in that way, if he gives her permission to do it, and at the same time saying, I still love you, after we're done with this debauchery we're doing right here, you're still my wife.
Yes.
After that, you know, we can go grocery shopping after that. You see what I'm saying? And I'm not going to be like, she did some crazy stuff to me about 20 minutes ago. Yeah, but you enjoyed it all. You know what I'm saying? So what was that all about? So why now afterwards you think about it like, ooh, I don't like that. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever. Yeah. So every woman's whore needs permission.
Well, in that aspect too, to an extent, it's the same needs to be shared with the men, because there's some guys who have some sexual hangups or insecurities to where he can't really be his true form in that moment, because you know how society is. Like, as you see with social media, everything is on the table. Confidentiality is like a foreign language nowadays. Now, if you're able to maintain that level of, I won't say secrecy, but privacy, or you guys actually have that chemistry where you can develop a language where you guys know what the fuck y'all talking about, and everyone else is like clueless, that's something else that you guys hold between each other. So in that arena, you're supposed to be able to be your true self, in a sense, to where like I can trust you with this. I mean, it's not going to be on someone's timeline or a conversation topic that's going to basically shatter this union. But I mean, when she's out there being delightfully disgusting, I mean, I'm able to tease with, hey, you a nasty motherfucker. Do that shit again. So it's supposed to be a give and take there. And plus, that's part of the intimacy conversation. But the most important part is outside the bedroom. That connection. Like, yeah, I know what I have idea what you're possibly capable of, but then like, what am I building around that to make that person feel mostly secure mutually? To where like, look, hey, I respect you. I hear, in the rough times and in the smooth times. It's got to be that. It's got to be all or nothing in that instance. That's why you have a lot of people doing what they do. Like, yeah, I can love you in this capacity, but outside I can or outsource it. I get my best outside the house, and that's where things are fragmented.
Mm-hmm. Because a man giving his sexual best to a woman that other than his wife is similar to the wife always walking around the house with her hair undone, musty and raggedy, but when she goes outside, she's snatched. She never does it for him, but for the world, she's a beautiful goddess of sexual and physical desire, right? But when she's home, she's got bunny slippers, a stained t-shirt, and she might not shower right when she wake up. It goes to like noon. Then she just, that's almost the same. You know what I'm saying? Like going, oh, I don't give you my best in the bedroom. I'll give somebody else my best. And Khalil Rahman actually brings up something very about natures. Because this society suppresses a lot of nature. It has suppressed male nature, which is where we get all this quote unquote cheating from, right? That's where we get all that from. But since I don't subscribe to, he's got to be completely monogamous all the time, I don't actually subscribe to that because I'm Muslim and we actually accept polygyny as a valid form of marriages for men. Which addresses his nature, right? It addresses the male desire to have more than one sexual partner at one time. Because I do not believe that men are naturally monogamous. They can be, some of them.
Can be.
But I think the majority of men prefer at least two at once. That, without the drama and none of them doesn't know the other. Like, minus all of that, just to say it's a polygyny situation and it's all accepted by everyone. Everyone is aware of what's going on, and he has 2 or 3 wives, right? That he can sexually satisfy, and he might prefer that. That addresses his nature. It also addresses the Coolidge effect, where he's not just with this one woman that he's actually attracted to, but he doesn't want to have sex with her anymore because he's been with her 15 years. You know what I'm saying, or whatever, and the same woman, and he hasn't stepped out of that. Getting another woman might actually spark the desire to be with her again because she becomes new all over again in his head. Okay, so we want to get to a point in this society where male nature is acceptable. Let's just say unicorns and rainbows are bound and male sexual nature is accepted. We would also have to conversely accept female nature because that's actually been suppressed, and the way that it shows up now is dysfunctional. Within the gynocracy, female nature is debased, right? So when I'm talking about female nature is that we have high sex drives. Like, we want to get crushed. You know what I'm saying? Like, we want that guy to like decimate us in the bedroom. Silly. We want that guy, our husbands, to decimate us in the bedroom. We just want
you gotta do this, okay?
Punish, you gonna punish. See, this is what we're talking about. Like, this is what we want. We want all of that done. And see, when you do all of that, you don't have to worry about stuff like she won't cook me no food. I will be in a kitchen as a whole 1950s wife with stilettos, a dress on, an apron on, and you a fresh stack of pancakes and freshly squeezed orange juice. Like I got a bag of oranges and I sat there all morning and squeezed you a glass of orange juice out. Okay. Yeah. You'll never have to worry about a sandwich ever again. Okay. But see, you're not putting it down right when you get done and then you be like, I'm hungry. She'd be like, boy, there's some leftovers up in there. You better put that stuff in the microwave. See,
just walk away. Walk away. There's a problem in the horizon. I mean, just to add what you were saying, it's like as far as the Coolidge effect, I felt that before because there was an arena where there was more than one woman in the situation and we got along very nicely. It was just the exterior of the bedroom situation. That's where things got bad, where certain individuals like took their personal issues, and then made it, basically polluted that space. But in other areas, it's like, yeah, we did our thing and then just happened to look at her and went for a round 4 with her. That's just how it works out. I mean, it's just what it is. Now, some people haven't experienced that, but my thing is like my personal experience, it's learning how to multitask in that arena. And it can be fun, but there's a sense of responsibility in managing those person's expression of, sex or their truer selves. So there wasn't any shame in it. I'm like, all right, get it in, do what you do. And they had that confidence to where like I can be me, and then you have that dialogue afterwards. It could be real engaging, but that whole lukewarm oatmeal type of sex, you can keep that. I'm not good with but porridge porn, I can't do it. I can't do it.
And I think, running into these types of things from bad communication between two people. Not having conversations about what you really want. You know what I'm saying? And what you really expect in particularly in that arena from your partner. From both people, not just one partner, only the woman is supposed to give what she wants or anything like that. Like both people are to be satisfied in that arena. So, he might have certain expectations or desires or fantasies. You know what I'm saying? It's like, what's your fantasy? Like, again, this is from experience. Like I would ask my husband, what's your fantasy? Like, what do you fantasize about? Mm-hmm. And he would be very closed mouthed about that. And I would try to encourage him, like, I'm not going to judge you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not going to be like, ugh. You know what I'm saying? Unless you got to really come out of the box with something stupid. But as long as we talking about consenting adults, like, what's your fantasy? You know what I'm saying? Like, and he would be very like, no, I don't want to talk. And I'd be like, I don't get that. And then I would be like, I don't get it. And then I would tell him one, and he would be like, and I kept getting too many of these, which I translated into shame.
Yes.
So I was like, oh, he feels a certain type of way when I talk like this about this. Like he doesn't, like he's not resonating with that. There's something about it that he's not, and like eventually throughout all the years and the talking, he actually said that he respected me too much, which is where I get the concept that it might have something to do with the way you view your wife and not wanting to taint that view of her. And he was like, I can't do certain stuff with you because of who you are. Like you have a certain thing about you that I can't, it's almost like I'll defile you after a certain point and I don't want to do it. I'm like, you can't break my vessel because you're my husband.
Yeah. Well, that's why I said I have this real strong rebuke of trophies. Like you either marry someone, you have a relationship with someone, but you only sit them on a shelf and they're not productive. They're not their true selves. They're like a conquest that just gets dusty over time because you haven't even take the time to polish it. Like if I'm with you, I want to know what's up, the good and bad. And there's too many people who live that lie talking about, well, I respect you. That's hypocrisy in many cases. Because if you really respected the individual, you'll see them for who they are. Like truly who they are. That they're really trusting you to show them their true selves. And you're like, you know what? I accept that. Or hell, the scary thing might be, you know what? I actually like that. Hey, that's what they got renter's insurance for. But when it comes down to it, it's like there's just too many people who want to live a lie and they're looking for a cosigner. That's why they'll lay in the bed and you'll feel the longest distance within arm's reach, where you just be actually in the middle of the act, but they're like light years away. But when you're actually in that moment and with each other and you see each other for who you are, and then like you guys get excited about that, there ain't nothing like it. Nothing.
Yeah, and that's I can't even say it's awesome because I don't know, because I haven't never had.
You'll know.
I never had that level of freedom.
Yeah.
To do all of that, and it was like, and I kept telling him, I said, that saying is there for a reason. You're a lady in the street, a freak in the sheets. Like your concept of me changed because of what you do with me.
Yeah.
Not some other man. You.
Yeah.
Like I didn't get it. I didn't really understand it. Like I understood certain points of what he was going through, but I couldn't reconcile it completely to between us, because it's like, well, I'm still your wife though. You know what I'm saying? Like, how come I can't, if you're the only man I'm ever going to be with till death do us part, who else do I have to express myself sexually with? Because I would be condemned to go to another man.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? While we're together. So, and I don't even have a desire to do that. Even when I'll probably say the last 4 or 5 years of our marriage was really without anything. It really was without anything. But that was due to sickness. That wasn't due to desire.
Oh, yeah. Well, still, when you look
fact,
sorry, but it's like when you look at the worst kind of prison you experience is sexual solitary confinement, where people are like, yeah, we're married, but then like you look at that person like, I can't even be my full self with you. So that's why you tend to see that marriage break apart, because like, in the house we can't even tear it up like the way we're supposed to. It is not just limited to the sex. It's like I cannot have that deep level communication or expression with you. Like I gave you the whole key to set me free. And there's too many people who will do everything, like get a separation or even divorce or even, break out of prison that way. Male and female, that's the whole thing. It's like if you're in there with a pillow princess, they are the devil. I mean, when you're just in there and you're doing all the work and she's just there. Or you'll have a guy who's laying up with a chick and she's just, you could tell she's mentally out of the moment. That's where some guys will stop, or they'll do it, but then like, look, I'm gonna go somewhere it can be fully expressed the way I need it to. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, there's so many ways to it, but then like again, we're too socialized to lie to ourselves and each other, and just for the sake of public opinion or put a public face up there, when knowing there's a whole lot of disharmony in there. She just either the guy wants to really do his thing, or hell, she loved getting her bell rung. You're like, look, I know I got my hair done. I can get that shit done again.
You pay for it once, you'll pay for it again.
I mean, look,
over another $40. I have it back with right in shape. But listen, we have a lot of forethought with that.
We do.
I used to. There's a reason why I had gotten into the habit of wearing braids and twists all the time. You just can't mess it up. You can't mess it up. So
I tried.
So it's like, okay, and it's interesting because we had a really, really deep connection. You silly, right? We had a really, really deep emotional and spiritual connection with each other. We really did. We really understood a lot about each other.
Mm-hmm.
He understood that part about me too. He just didn't accept it. He understood. He just didn't accept. Yeah. And he was like, I'm not going to. Like, I'm not gonna ever give you that permission. Like, he told me straight up. He's like, I'm not gonna ever give you that permission. I'll never do it. Because I can't deal with that.
Yeah.
I can't deal with that side of you.
Yeah.
And that expression of you. I see you a certain way, and it just kind of is what it is. Like, I love you a lot, and I see you a certain way. And he was like, to me, you're really a one-of-a-kind type of woman. You're different from other women. I'm like, not all that different. Not all that different. I'm not different here. So I'm really the same here. Really, I'm the same. Like, we're carbon copies of each other when it comes to this, right? Mm-hmm. But I don't know. I don't know.
Well, I mean, that goes into why are you there? Because if I'm gonna make this commitment, because really when you spend time with a person, in a sense, that is a commitment. Time you can't get back. How am I gonna best benefit from this time shared? Like, if I'm really gonna do this, let's do this. You know, if you can't, be honest enough, like, look, this is a bit much, I'm good, and stop wasting that individual's time. But if you are there and you guys are on the same conversation, or at least pliable to, like, look, let's see what it's about. Walk me through this. Everyone could stand a chance to learn something about them, but more importantly about themselves. Like, damn, I didn't even know I was into this. Like, cool. You know, it ain't gotta be on the front page. It's just like when y'all there in that moment, then y'all start getting playful all of a sudden. Because notice if you guys have that natural sexual chemistry, most times y'all act like little kids when y'all around each other. Like, hey, you better stop.
Like, better quit playing.
You know what you starting. I mean, like, I know when even if it's nothing that serious, I tend to do something like more intimate. I don't even really hold too much back. Like, if we're gonna shower together, we shower, you know, bathe each other, whatever. You know, that way, like, you start unlocking doors like that. Like, damn, okay, I can chill out and be me. And then y'all just lay in the bed and like having like these long, in-depth conversations. It don't even have to be the sex in general. It's just like where I can be my comfortable self. If I'm comfortable with you on that level, so many barriers tend to go down easy, real easy. And there's just too many people who are like really, they're kind of like putting masks on and like, well, I'm naked, but you're still fully clothed in a sense. Like, stop lying to yourself. Yeah.
And,
I'm doing confirmation stuff, but
it's really interesting that you were saying that, because like he and I refer back to that relationship. That was the longest relationship I ever had. Yeah. He and I, we could have those deep, long, drawn out conversations about just about anything that popped into our heads. But when it came to that, and like, I knew I was getting shut down because when we first got married, I was only 20, he was only 27. Jackrabbits. Okay? Jackrabbits. And so I thought I could be free. So that's when I handed him the key. I'm like, oh, we're jackrabbits. Cool.
Let's get it.
And once I did that, that's when he started like backing off because he recognized he was opening a door to me.
Yeah.
And I didn't understand because I was still young. I hadn't had any relationship experiences.
Yeah.
So I was like, ain't this what we supposed to be doing? What are you doing? And it would be still the frequency, but it started to become the same.
Mechanical?
And I'm like, kinda a routine is more like it. Routine. And it's like, okay, this is kind of a routine. This is just kind of like you're excited about it, but I'm not as excited about this because I know what's coming. You know what I'm saying? Like I know it, and it wasn't that it was bad, it was just the same. And I'm like, okay, it's the same. So you're not gonna throw a monkey wrench in that. Like you're not gonna throw a plot twist. There's no plot twist. Oh, okay. So and so for me, it was like, okay, yeah, oh, okay, you know, it became okay, all right. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I never said no because that's just I don't believe that should be in the vocabulary from a wife to a husband when it comes to that. So the only time that I ever said no is when I couldn't, like I physically couldn't.
Yeah.
But other than that, it was always a sure. You know what I'm saying? Sure, yeah. Come on. I never said no. You know what I'm saying? I was like, yeah, sure. You want okay. He tapped that leg. He don't have to say nothing else. He didn't. I never put him in a position where he felt like he couldn't ask, or that he was begging when he asked, or it was a trial, a chore to ask me or to say. You know what I'm saying? He didn't even really have to verbalize it. All that he would have to do is sort of make a motion or give me a look, and it's like, oh, I know what you want. You know what I'm saying? Like I know. Let's go ahead and do that. You know what I'm saying? Like we can do that. And it's just weird because I have two separate effects on men personally.
Okay.
I can't say this is for every woman. I have two separate effects. They're never really the same effect with the same guy. Either a guy wants really deep connection with me emotionally, but he doesn't include sex with that. Or he wants sex, mind-blowing sex, but he doesn't want the deep connection.
Yeah.
That's the effect I have on men, which I find really weird. I don't understand why the two don't meet. It's an either or situation. Either a guy is highly sexually interested in me, not interested in the rest of it, or he's interested in every part of me but that.
I was laughing at you myself. Said my wife is my chew toy. Like, hey, hey, that's how you gotta be. But it is that I'd say conundrum. Shout out to Ism, where you gotta have that balance. And as men, when you're dealing with a woman who's actually has a high sexuality, you have to feel confident with yourself to delve deep into the chaos. Because that's her element. Like some guys don't want to fall into the void like that and lose himself. Actually, you kind of free yourself in a sense. Because like there's been now my thing is like if a woman has certain expressions, sometimes you gotta give a guy a heads up. I mean, just I've been surprised before and injured myself because of that, but that's a whole nother conversation. But the thing is, like, when you guys, it's more like a dance, and both of you have to have that kind of rhythm. And when you really both have that rhythm in there, y'all tearing that floor up, literally. So that's we have to get over our hangups, respectively. I mean, it's like that's where it's not just the verbal conversations. It's like the freedom to be you. Because sometimes, let's say she's in her sleep, there's many ways to wake her up. Like, look. She don't ask you what you want for breakfast. She becomes breakfast. So every now and then, she, when you move a certain way, you sit there anticipation like, not yet, but I'll get to you. That's why you got to build that spontaneity. You never know when it's going to happen. But they're always prepared. That, you know, keeps them juices flowing, figuratively and literally. So, and with a guy, you know, just when a woman, you know, wakes a guy up a certain way, I mean, hey, you know, he's got his pep in his step, you know, he'll talk to people he don't even like, just or somehow he'll beat rush hour traffic. I mean, it's just, that's part of turning a house into a home if you're married. Because I figure if I'm going to fully commit myself in that aspect, why am I going to sit there and give you a half-ass relationship? Like, if I married a wife, you know, just, you know, she's in wearing white or whatever, she going to be wearing white in other occasions, and she going to love it. So, you got to love the beauty and the beast. That's just the simple of it.
Also, wait a minute. The guys are saying that's a Gemini curse. Y'all guys are getting it too. Yeah. You guys get that? The Gemini thing where because the guys who typically always want to connect to me in like this super deep, you know, relationship-y way. It's all the stuff in a relationship except intimacy.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why wouldn't you? And here's the kicker box. They do find me sexually magnetic, but it's almost like I can't ruin you that way. Like I can't ruin you. Like if I do that, I'll ruin the rest of you. And it's like, no, I would like to be ruined. You can be ruined. To say it like Stewie say it, not ruined, but ruined. Can be ruined. Please ruin. I don't want to be ruined.
I mean, I'll say as a man, it's like, look, if she gives you permission to pillage her in that fashion, it's not going to ruin her or your perception of her. I mean, you have to really look at her as like, look, this is what I'm asking for. You know, look, I have a better attitude once I turned into ground zero. Okay, do that. Just do it.
Yeah, I think we just have to stop associating sex with something bad. I think it really does go back to that as the root. Yeah. Sex is bad and evil, and purity is, you know, no sex. And no, that's not purity. It's actually not purity at all. Because even the concepts of heaven that we grow up with, most of us. When you get to heaven, it's like you were told that you are just a soul and just a spirit and nothing earthly goes on over there. And, you know, all of that. As a Muslim, we don't believe that. We actually believe that you go to both heaven and hell in your physical body. That is actually resurrected and put back together. And hell is intense torment, but heaven is the opposite. It's intense pleasure. Sex is part of that. You actually get to have sex in heaven because it's not nasty. It's something you're supposed to do. The only rule that Allah put on sex was commitment. That's the only rule he ever put on it. He didn't put all this other stuff. He didn't say sex was bad. You should, because if sex was bad, he'd have made us like the angels with no sexual desire at all. But he made us animals. We are human beings that we got sexual organs along with the desire, and he the one that made orgasms. So that's the incentive to keep going, to do it all the time, to get to that feeling. So what's up, Ronin?
Oh, that's another chapter we're gonna talk about tonight. But when you're able to unleash the beast multiple occasions with her, the whole different dynamic. It's a whole different conversation.
And you know what? Trey for War, I don't know if that's how you really supposed to say it. He said religious women are the freakiest. I dare anyone to disagree otherwise. Because even Muslim women, we are to repress everything sexually outwardly, but only outwardly. Like when we're in the streets and doing things with or without the presence of our husbands, we are not to be presenting ourselves as sexually enticing. Hence, okay, I go out like I appear this way all the time. When I'm out in public, when I'm show up here, which is public, I am always dressed like a Muslim, always, without fail.
Yeah.
However, in the home, I'm not dressed like this at all. At all. You know what I'm saying? Like at home with your husband, it's t-shirt panty time. Like ain't nobody walking around with this on. You know what I'm saying? I only put this on during the day when it's time to make salat. Other than that, this come right back off after salat. I'm back to the tank top. And like nothing on, exactly. And like nothing on that other than that. So we are to repress publicly. Privately with our husbands, he's not supposed to get that. He's supposed to get the woman. The public gets the Muslim sister.
Yeah.
Okay. My husband, he gets a Muslim sister, but he also gets the woman underneath it. You know what I'm saying? He gets the woman. You know what I'm saying? He enjoys her, and that's actually supposed to be part of the enjoyment, that she is not presented that way to other men. I'm the only man that gets to see her that way, that gets to see her when she's disrobed without her hijab on, and she's not in the long gowns, and she's running around in a tank top and lace panties right now. And like no other brother gets to see this. This was mine, you know what I'm saying, or whatever. So exactly, the bishop unwrapped the gift, right? And so going back to the spiritual thing, I know I'm talking a lot, but going back to the spiritual thing, you know, we think that sex is nasty and what we're doing here is nasty. It's only nasty when you're doing it outside of what Allah wants you to do. But if you're doing things the way Allah wants you to do, there's nothing bad about it. As a matter of fact, I'm going to relay something. The Prophet, peace be upon him, was talking to his companions. And he said, being sexually intimate with your wife is counted as a form of charity. Allah rewards you for that. And so the companions was like, what? Like, wait a minute. We get rewarded for something we like doing like that? And so the Prophet said, would you not get punished for doing it otherwise? They said, yes. He said, so Allah will reward you for doing it the way you're supposed to. It's a reward for that. So you're getting Allah like it, that you do this with your wife or wives, because you're doing what you're supposed to do. And you're fostering love and commitment and possibly raising families and things like that. So there's nothing wrong with what you're doing. So as a Muslim, again, like I said before, we believe in being raised in our corporeal body. If we're so fortunate to make it into Jannah, we have husbands and wives in Jannah, heaven, that we consort with. Sex is on the menu all the time if that's what you want. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's there because we view heaven as a place for our pleasure.
Yes.
It's a reward. It's not a place for us to be holy. Actually, this is the place for us to be holy and have restraint and have discipline, you know what I'm saying, in these different areas. Here, paradise is the reward for actually having that discipline here. Yeah. And so you get the reward. And what's the reward? The things that you like to do. Well, what do we like to do? We like to eat, we like to sleep, we like to do stuff, and we like to have sex. As human beings, this is what we like. Allah made us like that stuff. Yeah. We didn't ask for that. He did that. So there's nothing wrong with it. So anyway.
No, I'm just saying you when you at home, you got to tithe and commune generously.
Yeah.
When y'all are praying at the altar, interpret that as you will. You give into the desires of your heart. So I just think it doesn't make sense to be that hypocrite when you can do that in a church setting, but when at home, you realize the church is within you. So when you guys are building something, I mean, look, use everything. The bricks, the mortar. Hey, turn the doorknob a couple times.
Right. Hey, everybody that's new. Hey, Bunny. Hey, Father's Time.
Yeah, and especially when you put some A game into that praise and worship.
Oh yeah, right. When you put A game in the mix, take me to the water. You gotta sing an old hymn. When you get in there, you can't sing a gospel. You got to sing a hymn. Take to the water. You see what I'm saying?
Yes. And with this bread, I commit.
Right. I know I've been changed. The angels done signed my name. Gave me a game. Bishop said, "Oh, he'll be places."
Look, I mean, I agree with you because like people like demonize. They tend to dehumanize that element of us. Like in that arena, you don't have to be strict. You can be silly. You can be your honest selves. Like there's a lot of times where in the middle of you be sitting there doing stuff and laughing, but y'all get back into it because again, it's like you guys are uninhibited. You guys don't walk around with a leash. Oh, I can't do that. Like you're supposed to set each other free. I mean, with guys, like when he's able to like, he's really into a chick and you know she's giving her all. He's a whole different dude. There's plenty of guys that'll sit there and tell you like we don't see certain homies after a while because he in there. He is in there. Same thing with y'all girlfriends. Like, oh, you all booed up. You know why she booed up? Because they doing what they do. Straight up. Mm-hmm. She don't even hang with y'all no more because y'all are like that. But I mean, it's in the beginning, but over time, like you start learning how to balance your lives out. That's an element that we keep to ourselves, but then like everything else, we good. And there's too many people afraid of that because they figure they're missing out on something when most cases you are is just right in your face. Unfortunately. But but singing hymns, that's hilarious.
Thank you, Danielle, for the PayPal. But so I'm gonna give you a chance to speak your piece so we can round this up. I usually go a little bit longer, unless you want to go longer. You want to go longer?
Let me put a little bit of this on it.
I could not have even phrased that question that way. You're so silly.
Hey, hey, you open the door, I went in. No, but it's like, as I personally say, it's homework. If you have a significant other or, you know, whatever level it is, y'all need to have them real in-depth conversations. Like, seriously, cut to the bullshit and like say, what is it that actually turns you on? What is that you're into? Like, really let me into your world like that. Sometimes you got to take baby steps. Some people are just, hey, they left the door open for you, just refuse to walk in. You know, what do you have to lose in that case? And just be honest with the truth. Don't get upset with the truth. And learn to embrace it. You know, it's like, okay, this person like that. I didn't know you like that. And don't pedestalize that person because usually when you put a person in the pedestal, that leads to isolation. Mm-hmm. You can admire them from afar. Like, admire that person for who they are. I mean, yeah, they can be great out in the public, but you might have something magical in your arm's reach. You know, you just have to learn how to be perceptive in that arena. So if she's a beautiful chick out there, she can put her makeup back on again, make her earn it. Mm-hmm. There's a guy, he got health insurance, so like he'll heal up. Chicks dig scars, so guys are cool. You know, hey, scratches on the back, he'll just in there.
That's how you know you doing what you gotta do.
Yeah.
Some war wounds. But
hey, war wounds are
so
awesome. To give y'all something else to talk about. And fellas, before I go, let her be that nasty bitch. She'll thank you for it.
she actually will, because sometimes a lot of us lionesses, like I said before, all of us need permission, but sometimes we don't know how to release it either. It's there,
Yeah.
but we don't know how to release that. We don't know because we haven't done that. More often than not, we haven't really truly done it. The release like that, not in full. So it's just like, okay, you get a man that's committed to you, your husband is a committed relationship. I'm not going to not talk to this man tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? Or, you know what I'm saying? He gets to smut me out, and then for the rest of my life, we don't ever cross paths again. Like, it's not like that. Like, I wake up with this man every morning. Like, I'm not going to lose him just because I'm letting this out, or he's giving me permission to be this way with him. And sometimes we don't know how to give you that part. This is where the permission comes from. You know what I'm saying? This is where I'm not going to shame you for it. You can go ahead and do this, and I'm not gonna shame you. I'm not gonna say you're wrong for having done it or make you feel like you're wrong. Alonzo said, how do we give permission to our lady to release her inner after having her as a trophy for years? You have to actually give her permission. She can't feel, and that's what I was saying. She can't feel wrong. Blocking permission is making her feel like you judging it. Like you think she's a hoe. Yeah. You think of her lowly. You think of her as a woman that's just nasty and just not worth anything. You can't reject it. That's a rejection. Anytime as a husband, you be like, I don't want to do that, or why you want to do that, or it goes into a million questions as to why she want to do X, Y, and Z to you. She ain't talking about doing it to some other man. She talking about doing it to you, and you be like, So however you reacting, it's not a yes.
No.
To her, to women, to us, it's a rejection of that part of us, and we will start hiding it. We will start being like, okay, my husband doesn't want me to be this way, because we become afraid that our relationship with you will become jeopardized in some way. Yeah. So then we start, at least that's true for me. I start hiding parts of me because it's like, okay, I don't want his perception of me to change like that. Like, I don't want him to us to get up from each other and he looking at me like, ugh. I want him to look at me with googly eyes, like, I didn't know you was capable of that.
Do that again.
You know what? Surprise me again.
Okay, that's what we doing.
Right. Like, so Alonzo, that's how you do it. If you had her as a trophy, you really do have to give her permission. And more importantly, you have to give yourself permission. You have to give yourself permission to love her after that.
And support what Kendra was saying, like sexual literacy is a killer in a relationship. Like, some people could be book smart, they be street smart, they could have common sense, but both of y'all are sexually illiterate. That corrupts both of y'all. That's why, like, even the guys, when you gotta take care of yourself, hey, this old manscape shit. I was saying, like, I'm not advertising like that. I'm just saying I did this for myself. So there's just too many people who want to put people in a box, and that air gets stale in that box. So set each other free. Y'all get in there, y'all get it in, do what y'all love to do, and y'all look at each other like, you know what? Learn to respect that person for their brutal honesty. That's what we're not seeing out here. So if she likes swinging on the chandeliers and then, you know, surprise you out there, hey, respect that. She was honest to express that to you, and when you make it safe for them to be themselves, that's an animal is going to be happy in that cage.
And see, the other thing about it too is this: you have to not only give the permission to her, but you have to understand what sex is, especially in a committed relationship. It is a soul tie.
Oh yeah.
And when you reject her tying, you actually say to her, you need to tie your soul to somebody else, because I'm rejecting the soul tie that you try to give me. I take it from the physical plane only, but I don't want it from the emotional plane. That whore, that inner whore we have, comes from the emotional plane, not the physical one. She just manifests physically. Yeah. But that is from in here. That is from our soul. Like, that's our rawest nature.
Yeah.
Coming to you and saying, okay, accept it. And what she's trying to do is submit on that level too. Yeah. Which is a very, very, very deep level. To reinforce the shower rod.
I know what you on.
Right. She's trying to connect in a way with you that she may not have ever connected with another man.
Yeah.
Because just because we have sex, that's an energy exchange, but it's not always a soul tie, or we're not always intending for it to be a soul tie. But when we're with our husbands, I want to soul tie to him. To him. That actually helps us bond to you. Yeah. To the exclusion of other men. We will start excluding other men. This is why chicks be crazy about one dude. Because she's soul tied to him. Other men don't let her do that. So she's still soul tied to a man she probably ain't talked to in 10 years. But she still remember it vividly because her soul was tied to him. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever. People can call that imprinting or whatever, but that's what it is. So when we were with our husbands, I'm going to speak for me. When I'm with my husband, I want to soul tie with him. I need him to give me permission to soul tie to him so that I can truly exclude other men from the top of my head to the bottom of my feet. No man can have access to me in any way. Yeah.
One of the worst things you can do is turn that soul tie into a noose. Because most of them will sit there and be left dangling. And then there you are. You wonder why you don't have that connection anymore, because you allowed it to sit there and just sit, not be addressed, but die. That's why you don't, when you see that cold side of the bed, that person's over there, because in a sense, you kind of killed it. Like, nah, I don't see you like that. So what can you expect to build from that?
Yeah.
It's supposed to be like grapes. It's supposed to pluck it.
You feel what I'm saying?
The juice. Press it down and turn it to wine. Have it shaketh and running over.
You silly. You silly.
Hey, it's in the Bible. I'm always spreading the word. That's it.
Spreading the good word. Good word.
Hey, good wine takes time. I bless
Chapter
you.
1, verse 28 in the book of Ronin, huh?
Yeah, in the book of Skeet. No, man, I agree with you 100%. It's like just too many people like to demonize it rather than set themselves free with it. I mean, it's not to where you turn each other to a fetish. Actually, you explore yourselves. Like when you are exploring the other person, you explore yourself. You never knew certain things about yourself. And if done right, it can actually heal an individual from certain sexual traumas. Because if you do it right, it's like that sex is therapy. Because some people are like, look, you know, this person actually, you know, embraced the fragmented part of me that helped me heal. You can become that glue, in a sense. That's where that imprint comes from. Mm-hmm. Like, look, I'm in the mold. I was in my zone that time, Everybody else, yeah, that's chore stuff. But with this person, it's different. I can see the other side of the universe right now. Yeah.
Evo Sosa says a question. Thank you, Reese.
Yeah.
Question to us. Is there such thing as a no? I only ask because there's some things I won't do, even if my wife requests of me. No sex while bleeding. Women have to, okay, first of all, to answer the question, there is a such thing as no.
Yeah.
Because there are certain things that you just don't want to do. Everybody don't want to do everything, right? Some people are into stuff and other people be like, I'll never do that. You know what I'm saying? Like some people are into the golden shower. See, you can't play that game with me. I don't want none of that. You see what I'm saying? Because that's not sexy to me. That I don't associate that with sex at all. So it's like, okay, you just went to the toilet. The hell was wrong with you? You know what I'm saying? You should took that in the bathroom. Why'd you do that? You know what I'm saying? Or whatever. So there is a such thing as no. No comes from principles. The no's come from principles. Like it's against my principles and my belief to do that. What you just said. While on the menses, that's a complete no. And it's a no for me for several reasons. First of all, because of religious reasons. Second of all, because of principle reasons. Third of all, because of hygiene reasons. I don't want my man nowhere near that when that's going on. It don't smell good. It don't feel good. It don't look good. She in a whole situation during that time. She's in a situation and we don't need to deal with her in that situation. Yeah. Okay, I don't even want my husband to see pads and stuff. No, I don't even want him to know I'm on it. My husband would have to ask. And I'd be like, oh no, I'm on my period. You like, you is? Yeah, I've been on my period for 3 days. I know, good. Because I'm not trying to look, it stink, ladies. I'm sorry. I don't know who started that. Who started y'all trying to have sex with while that's going on? But your kitty is not in a good space when she's doing that. I know sometimes our hormones get really wacky and you might get hot during that time. Like I understand that your sex drive might actually go up, which is sort of normal because you can actually still get pregnant to a certain degree during a part of that cycle. But do not do that. Do not. It's nasty. That's just nasty. You make your bedroom a whole abattoir with that. Don't nobody want to deal with that smell. That blood stank that comes out of there. Okay, that does not smell good. It's not it don't. It just don't.
Smell like old batteries and wet pennies.
Yeah, that's nasty.
Yeah.
Even if you are hot, you're gonna have to suffice. It's only a few days. The cycle only a few days. You'll be all right.
Oh, but when she come off that cycle.
Yeah, when you come off and wash it up, like, oh yeah. Remember 3 days ago when you asked me?
Yeah.
This is what I got saved up. This is the game plan I drew up.
I grew with chicken. It's called crime scene sex. I call it Shark Week. Whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's if y'all into that thing, then that's y'all thing. But there has to be some kind of boundaries. Like there has to be some sense of order. Like you can't have all out barnyard chaos. There has to be some things. Okay, we can get into this, but hey, this shit that's out my jurisdiction. That crazy stuff. I'm not a vampire. I'm good. I don't get down. But yeah, just you gotta have that honest discussion with things. I mean, just how certain people have certain expressions of it where you have safe words, you have to have that permission to go on certain levels. And like look, there's certain things I'm not gonna do. You know, all the other bodily fluids and stuff like that. I don't want Mr. Hanky on my chest. I'm straight. I'm good. But other than that, you know, these other things you had on the list, let's talk about it. But no. No. Peeing on me is gonna piss me off, and it's gonna be a whole different vibe right there.
See, we gonna fight.
Yeah. If you're a squirter, that's something else. If you're a squirter, that's something else.
Yeah. See, it's the other way around. See, men don't squirt. They either peeing or they not.
If he's squirting, something's wrong. Something is rotten in Denmark. He on something else. I don't know nothing about that part.
Nah. I pass on that. Okay, so you guys, I have fun. This dad doesn't want to stay. So, but before I go, go down into the description box. Okay. Hit the link for A Game at agameherbal.com. Get your 10% discount off of your next purchase using the code Kendra10. All right. So this is a male herbal solution. So this is for the guys. So guys, go ahead, hurry up, click the link, get yourself the gift of better health. And ladies, do the same for the men in your lives. All right. And on that note, peace out.
Smash safely.
Hey guys, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. And if you've got more to say on the topic, leave a comment down below. Also, don't forget to support our sponsor who so graciously supports this channel by clicking the description box and the link for A Game at agameherbal.com. You can go ahead and get a 10% discount off of your next purchase using the code Kendra10. This has been yet another Crimson Cure production, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.